Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 3015 Northeast 61st Avenue here in Portland, Oregon. We're located at in the basement at the bottom of the stairs here. Right in front of the basement stairs there's a 4-inch cast iron stack and clean out. This will be my point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. Here we go. Here at 22 feet, it transitions over to 6-inch terracotta pipe. Everything's looking good so far. And got out here to about 35 feet. I'm not entirely sure if this is a root coming through the joint here or a piece of string or rope or something. I'll have to take a closer look at it here. I'm concerned that I've lost my running water. It's disappeared somewhere, so I'm going to kind of backtrack here a little bit, see if I can find that. And right here at 32 feet, this is apparently the culprit joint here that's allowing the water to seep out. As soon as I get past this joint, there is almost no water running at all. I would imagine a toilet flush would clear past that because of how fast it moves, but your slower draining stuff like sinks, it's all pretty much draining out through that joint. So I'll get that marked and located for repair on the way out. A sleeve is also a possibility in this situation so far. at 61 feet, it switches over to 6-inch concrete. And here at 63 feet, it switches over to 6-inch PVC pipe. Okay, here at 73 feet from the point of access, we have reached the main lateral. I'm going to go ahead and start reeling back here in a moment and locating some issues in the line. My concern, obviously, with that joint, the water is leaking out. That's something that I would highly recommend be repaired so that everything can actually flow out to the street properly. Debris could build up quite easily without water flowing throughout the whole line. There's a couple spots where it looks like there's some roots that have come through the joints as well. They're very short, like possibly have been trimmed. It's hard to say if it's been cleaned out or not here recently with a hydrojetter or auger, but there's some joints with some roots coming through. So a sleeve would be the best option in this scenario, because it looks like the line itself appears to have grade without water flowing to the end here. I can't say that for sure, that there's not bellies anywhere, but it looks like the line is draining out. I'll do some toilet flushes here to see if the water shoots past okay. But a sleeve would be a good option. It would seal the old joints and not allow water to leak out of the line anymore, but also keep roots from coming back through. And we currently have a sink, the kitchen sink running, and it's running about medium flow, and no water is getting past that joint at this point. So we're going to do a toilet flush and see how that makes it out here. So that's the toilet flush that's moving past the camera there. Like I said before, the faster moving higher volumes of water will clear over that joint, but it's hard to say exactly how much of that flush is leaking out through that joint. All that sink water is draining out into the ground, so that's a big concern for erosion issues. I'm going to go ahead and reel back and mark out some spots in the terracotta pipe. I'm going to pull back here to the joint where the water is leaking out and get that marked for a repair, spot repair. I'd like to see the entire line sleeved at this point. My concern is that water is seeping out through other joints that are separated. There's plenty throughout this line that are separated. It's just very difficult to find all of them at this point because of how little water gets past that one joint. So I would recommend sleeving the whole thing to make sure that no issues in the future happen. But taking care of that one joint at this point will at least allow water to continue moving past that and allow the water line to help drain out any debris that's in here. And just beyond this point here, there was a stretch of pipe for about 8 feet that had some standing water. It looked to be about a ½ inch for about 8 feet or so. At some point, I mean, it's probably a good idea to fully update this line so that the issues down the road don't contribute to any blockages or anything. But we're here at the joint that's allowing water to seep out, so I'm going to go ahead and locate and mark this with a green X. Okay, I'm here at 32 feet where the water is seeping out through the joint. I've located and marked it with a white X. We're going out of green paint, we got white paint. It's at 8 feet deep, and that's in case that excavation is needed to get to this repair rather than sleeving. If a full sleeve is to go ahead, I would recommend jetting the line out and putting the camera back down it to see how much standing water is ahead of the camera here. This is the section I'm talking about here. There is some standing water, but there's also some pretty large chunks of debris sitting in the flow line that could affect how much standing water is in fact sitting here. So I would recommend getting that cleaned out if a sleeve is done. That way you know if you need to actually correct that by excavation or by sleeving. But I would recommend a rescope after the repair work is finished to ensure that the line is working properly and draining properly. But at some point I do recommend a full update, either by sleeving or excavation, to update the line to prevent future root intrusion and water leakage.